Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm so glad you're here. If you haven't hit the follow button, if you haven't subscribed, please do that. We have a great show for you today. Let's go. I want to start off talking about, it was Sarasota, Florida. This was just maybe 9 or 10 years ago. And I'm in Sarasota, Florida. I'm at the house. I'm with family and friends, and the phone rings. And I get an urgent phone call from a friend of mine. He says, Dray, I need help. I said, what's up, Mario? And he goes, I need money, man. I need money. I'm down a couple $1,000. Can you bring me a couple of $1,000 to the dog track? I said, what are you doing? He goes, I'm playing poker. I said, okay, yeah, I'll be, give me like 20 minutes. He goes, hurry up. I said, all right. So I got in my little white Beamer, turned on the air conditioning, and brought my dog with me, because Roxy liked to go any place that I went. So I get in the car, we drive over to the dog track and everything else, and I leave the car running with the AC on, and it's about 9 o'clock, 8:30 at night. The sun is down. The sun hasn't been down long, but it's nighttime. And I just felt comfortable leaving the air conditioning on for the dog. So I go upstairs and I find him and everything else, and I go, here, man, here's your $2,000. And he goes, the guys want to meet you. Can you come over and say hello? I said, sure. And he says, Drayton, this is Rick and Tom and Bobby, and goes through everybody at the table. And I said, hey guys, it's really, really nice to meet you. And they said, hey, nice meeting you. I said, hey, hope to see you at the club sometime. Stop by anytime. Just come ask for me and I'll get you at the door. And they're like, oh, that'd be great. We'll come by and see you this weekend. I said, all right, just come by. So I head back down the stairs and everything else, to go back to my car. And just as I just turn around the corner and I look at my car, and there's a cop like this getting ready to smash my window. And I go, yo, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm good. Is this your car? I go, yeah, dude, this is my car. And he goes, well, you have an animal in the car. And I said, a dog. Yeah, my dog is on my seat probably, waiting for me to come back. And he goes, well, yeah, but that's against the rules. That's mistreatment of animals. I said, mistreatment of animals? He's in a 750 BMW laying on leather seats with air conditioning. How is this? And he goes, oh, open up the door. So I open up the door, and there's my dog sitting there, wait, hey, hi, Dad, And the cop goes and gets his partner, and his partner comes back, and he's in the process of writing me a ticket. I said, what are you writing me a ticket for? And he goes, for endangering animals. I said, for endangering animals. I said, are you joking? He goes, no, I'm not joking at all. And just then, animal control shows up. And I'm going, what is animal control doing here? And he goes, well, she wants to survey the situation and make sure that everything's okay with the animal. I said, the animal, it's a dog. It's a miniature schnauzer. It's my dog, And the woman comes over and she kind of looks at me and she goes, everything all right here? I go, yeah, my dog was sitting in air conditioning and apparently the cops had a problem with it. And she looks and she goes, okay, well, I'm going to have to write up a report. I said, you do you. You do whatever you have to do, And she goes, okay, and just kind of smiles at me like, all right, whatever. So she writes up this quick little report, hands it to the police officer. And I said, can I get a copy of that report? And he goes, oh, no. This is for us. He goes, this is your summons to appear in court, and here is your ticket for endangering animals. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? He goes, yes, we'll see you in court. I was like, wow, okay, I'll see you in court, So a few weeks go by and everything else. And apparently, I found out later that this little old woman that was that worked at the dog track turned me into the cops, that I was endangering this poor dog. All right, what the cops would call an animal. So I get to the courthouse, and it's a preliminary hearing and stuff like that, and the prosecutor comes over to me and he says, he says, we're looking at probation for a year. We're looking at, if you want to plead guilty, we'll just do probation for a year. And then you have to go through training for 3 weeks on how to work with animals or something like that. And I looked at him and I go, yeah, that's not happening. I'm pleading not guilty. He goes, oh, you're gonna plead not guilty? Do you have an attorney here? I said, no, I'll be my own attorney. And he kind of went, oh, you're one of those. And I went, one of those? He goes, oh yeah, you're going to defend yourself. I said, yeah, I'll defend myself. So I said, I'm going to plead not guilty, and then we'll have a trial date, and then we'll go from there. He's like, okay. So, of course, the judge says, how do you plead, Mr. Nay? And I say, not guilty. And, the attorney said something, Your Honor, we'd like to move this up to a court date as early as possible, blah, blah, blah. And the judge looked at me and said, are you okay with that, Mr. Nay? And are you going to have an attorney? I said, no, Your Honor, I'll be acting as my own attorney. And he says, okay, but we understand, just because you're acting as your own attorney doesn't mean you won't have to abide by the court rules in the trial. I said, I'm good with that, Your Honor. He goes, okay, well, we'll have a trial by judge. I'm not going to put this in front of a jury. I'm going to put it in front of myself in 2 weeks. I said, I'm okay with that, Your Honor. So 2 weeks goes by, and here I come back again, and this time the head prosecutor walks over, and not one of the young guys, the actual prosecutor for Sarasota comes walking over to me, and he goes, yeah, we want this, you want this whole thing to go away, because if you lose, and you will lose your dog. And I said, yeah, you're not taking my dog. That's not happening. And he goes, oh, that will happen when you're found guilty. I said, yeah, that's not happening either. And he goes, so are you going to plead or not? I said, no, I'm not pleading to anything. I said, put your case on. If you have a case, put it on. And he goes, okay, but just know this, wise guy, I'm going to do it myself. I will be the one prosecuting you, not my student. I said, I don't care. I don't care if it's you, the Pope. I don't care. Bring your case. Let's go. Do you have a case or not? And he goes, okay, no, we're ready. We're ready to go. I said, okay, then let's do this, So, of course, they say that they're going to press on. And I said, Your Honor, I said, some of the witnesses for this gentleman here are in the courtroom. I would ask that the witnesses be sequestered, because I don't want them. He goes, I understand exactly what you want. That's a reasonable request. I will sequester the witnesses. And all that means is they're in a back room. They can't hear what's actually going on. So the first officer gets on there, because there were 2 police officers there. And the first officer goes, oh yeah. He says, we got on the scene, and my partner was getting ready to break open the glass because the dog was scratching at the door trying to get out because it was suffocating. Suffocating in a car. Yeah, that's what he said. Those were the actual words that he used, that the dog was suffocating and trying to claw its way out. And I just sat there, and listened to him go on with the rest of his testimony. And the judge says, do you have any questions? I said, just one, Your Honor. I said, Officer Smith, have you ever seen an animal suffocate in a car with air conditioning running? And he goes, oh, well, I don't know. I said, okay, no further questions. That's all I got, Your Honor. So he comes down off the thing. So then he calls up the other police officer. And the other police officer, starts telling a completely different story. He says, oh yeah, he says, well, when I got there, he goes, I was getting ready to break open the glass because the dog was laying there and wasn't moving, and I was afraid the dog was dead. So I was getting ready to break the glass just as that guy stopped me and said, hey, 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 it's my car. Okay? Well, the prosecutor didn't even realize that the policeman just told two completely different stories. All right? So the judge says, all right, Drayton, it's your witness. So I walk right up to the police officer, maybe 2 feet from his face. And I look right at him and I go, I just have one question for you, officer. Are you the liar or is your partner a liar? I just want to know which one. Are you the liar or is your partner? And I get an objection. What kind, and I go, Your Honor, I just want to know which one of them's lying, because his testimony, and we can have the court reporter read it back. His testimony was the dog was barely moving. It looked dead. And his partner, if you want to read it back, said the exact opposite, that the dog was clawing to get out of the car. So, Your Honor, my question remains, which one of you is lying? Because both things cannot be true. So I just want to know which one of you is a liar, you or your partner. And all hell broke loose, And the judge said, well, we don't want to call anyone necessarily liars, but you can answer the question. And he goes, none of us are lying. We just saw it from different angles. And I said, angles? So you're claiming you were the one getting ready to break open the glass. Where was your partner at that time? Isn't it true that he was some 30 feet back by the patrol car at the time you were about to break the glass? Yes or no? And he goes, well, I think so. I said, so your angles couldn't have been much different, could they have been? And he didn't know what to say. He was like completely lost. So, needless to say, it went on from there, because after that, the judge just kind of looked at me, and I asked the judge, I said, Your Honor, I said, I have no more questions for this. Are there any more witnesses to this? And the prosecutor next to me goes, I have one more witness. I have one more witness. And the judge says, okay, bring the person on. Guys, when I tell you, he brought in the grand poobah, the admiral of animal control. He brought in the one in charge of it for the whole state of Florida. This woman came in there, and buddy, she had medals on her like she was George Patton. She had medals. I don't even know what they were for. And she sat down, and the prosecutor was like, you've been with animal control for 30 years. You've done this. You've done that. And I went, Your Honor, I will, admit that she is the all-knowing, I bow to her credentials. Can we move on, please? And so he proceeds to ask her all these questions of the dangers of leaving a dog in a car. He goes on for an hour asking her about all the damage that can be done to a dog in a car. So after he's done, the judge looks at me and goes, Mr. Ney, it's now your witness. And I said, okay. And I walked right over to her, just like I did to the police officer. And I said, ma'am, I just have one question for you. And she says, yes. And I said, were you there? And she goes, excuse me? I said, were you there on the scene to see what actually happened? Were you there? And she goes, well, no. I said, oh, Your Honor, I have no further questions. And I walked away, and that was it. So after that, and the funny thing was, as I went, oh, well then no further questions, his students started laughing. His students were over there like, because I just made her, you weren't there, so shut up, So needless to say, the judge, we wrapped up our summaries, and my summary was very simple. I said, Your Honor, the so-called witnesses they have told completely two different stories. One of them is lying, or possibly both, because personally, neither one of the stories made any sense. So I'm just going to say that in conclusion, and I suggest that the Honor find me innocent. That was it. That's how I wrapped it up. And needless to say, I was found innocent, And as I walked out of the thing, there was a guy sitting there and he had handcuffs on, and he looked at me and he goes, "Dude, can you defend me?" I'm like, "I'm not a lawyer." He goes, "You sure looked like one." So that was my, people always ask me when they look up my record, they're like, "Endangering animals, what's that all about?" You guys now know the story of when I so-called endangered an animal in Sarasota, Florida. And the reason I told you that story is because we're about to have a Trump administration, all right? And the Trump administration is going to make it sound like there is a lot of things going on bad about America that they have to fix. When in reality, there's a lot of us that are just like the dog, my dog, sitting in an air-conditioned car perfectly fine. But just know this, over the next few years, Donald Trump and the administration is going to pretend that everything is wrong when it's really not. Don't forget to hit the follow button. Don't forget to subscribe. And welcome to the Dray Way. We have more shows. Stay right there. Okay, everybody's talking about the stock market, real estate, stock market, the real estate. Drayton, what do I do? Do I do stocks? Do I do real estate? Do I do gold and silver? By the way, for the record, I think gold and silver is always a good idea. I have owned gold and silver since the 70s, and I will always own gold and silver. So my suggestion is always invest part of your portfolio in gold and silver. But a lot of you are asking me about, what about the stock market? What about the stock market? Is the stock market too high? Listen, I don't care what Warren Buffett is doing. I don't care what this expert's doing. I don't care. The one thing I know that works, I'm not a big proponent of real estate and investing in real estate over the next 10 years. I don't think real estate is going anywhere. I don't think we're going to hit new highs in the next 10 years. I don't think that's happening. But will we hit new highs in the stock market? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we sure will. With AI coming on. So I'm not saying that you suggest you put one huge block in the market right now, but consistently putting money into the S&P 500 month after month after month, I think that is a wonderful idea. I think that's a terrific idea. As a matter of fact, if you're in your 20s, 30s, even if you're in your 40s, the more money you put consistently in the stock market, the better off you're going to be 20 years from now. And I know it's so hard for everyone to think about 20, 30 years down the line. But when you're 20, 30, 40, or in your 40s, you have 20 or 30 years to think about. And I can promise you this, consistently, the stock market again and again and again is the best place to be. So find a good S&P 500 fund, find one that doesn't cost much as far as an administration fee, and consistently invest again and again and again each and every month. Don't try to pick out that one perfect stock. Don't try to do that. Instead, put your money into the S&P 500, invest each and every month, and watch your money grow. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm glad you're here. We have one more thought before we go today, so stay right there. This message goes out to Democrats everywhere. Look, Donald Trump just put out a statement yesterday saying that senators need to stop Biden from putting any more judges onto the courts. They need to do everything they can do to stop Biden. And this is, once again, a former president openly telling people to fight against a current president. So I just want everyone to know, whether you're Democrat or Republican, my message is very clear. Democrats, fight Donald Trump with everything you have every single day. Don't give an inch. Don't give a centimeter. Don't give that man anything. Make him earn every single inch of ground. He sat there and did it to Biden. Now it's our turn. When he takes over in January, from day one, give that man nothing. Don't do anything for him. Make his life as difficult as possible, because ultimately Donald Trump is in there for the power. He's not in there to actually do anything. And that's true with all the Republicans. They're not there to actually do anything. And here they've spent the last, I don't know how long, trying to disrupt everything Biden did every single day. So don't give me this whole unity thing. You know, the whole thing on unity and, oh, let's have a kumbaya moment. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. All right. We're going to fight every single day in the Senate, every single day in the House, to make sure Donald Trump and his craziness doesn't go any further than it has to. And that's my final thought of today. Again, thank you for coming to the Dray Way. I appreciate it. You can check me out on TikTok. At Drayton Nay, you can find me rather easily. Don't forget, there's a new Dray Way each and every day. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.